Hello, my name's Brad Hall. I'm a second-year construction management student, and for my heroic imagination project, I chose my hero is retired Navy SEAL David Goggins.
Here's a quick picture of David Goggins.
David Goggins is my hero because he is the perfect model of overcoming limitations we humans put on ourselves. David Goggins is the only member of the U.S. Armed Forces to complete Navy SEAL training, which means he did 2 Hell Weeks. He was part of the U.S. Army Ranger School and finished Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. Goggins not only went through some of the hardest military training in the world, but is also a very accomplished endurance athlete. Goggins once held the Guinness World Record for pull-ups, doing 44,030 in 17 hours. And that's insane. I mean, that averages about 237 pull-ups every hour. I can't even do 10. He also completed over 60 ultramarathons, triathlons, and ultra triathlons, setting a few course records and regularly placing top 5. And actually, a cool fact about David Goggins is that in one of his ultramarathons that he ran back in 2007, he completed the race after breaking almost every bone in one foot and with kidney failure. Now, if you broke your bone at all during a race, I know if my foot even started to hurt at all during one of those races, I'd quit immediately. But he broke almost every bone in his right foot and had kidney failure in one of his kidneys because he was dehydrated, and he ended up finishing the race. Now, that is probably one of the toughest things I've ever heard in my life. Now, Goggins wasn't always this tough badass. He openly talks at his seminars and in interviews about how he used to be super lazy. He talks about how he used to be overweight. He used to be super insecure. He dealt with a lot of racism when he was a child, so he grew up being scared and intimidated by almost everything. So after all that buildup, after so much time, and he was overweight, and he realized kind of in his early 20s that he was coming home to a very mediocre house, he was overweight, he had nothing really to look forward to, and he was tired of living like that. So in his early 20s, he completely did a 180. He no longer wanted to deal with mediocrity, and he wanted to see how tough he was and to push himself, and he wanted to become the hardest man in the world. And personally, I think he did. I think he is the toughest person in the world. Goggins is now a public speaker. He's also a life coach. He talks to college students, professional sports teams, and the staff at Fortune 500 companies. Not only that, he's also raised a lot of money and awareness for the Special Operations Warrior Fund, which provides financial aid to families whose loved ones have died in the line of duty.
And here's a quick photo just to show his body transformation.
Another great thing about Goggins is that out of all the races and everything that he's done, he doesn't care about either the records he sets, the races he's won, what he's done, what he's completed. He just wants to see how tough he is. That was his biggest mark. He's not really interested in any of the races he's won. He doesn't keep track of the miles, and he doesn't keep a score. Instead, for him, it's all about achieving his personal best and pushing himself well past his comfort zone. David chooses to run the toughest races and put himself through some of the hardest military training programs in the country for no other reason than to see what he's made of. For him, physical and mental suffering are a journey of self-discovery. No other experience makes him feel more clear, focused, and alive. So that right there to me speaks some real big truth about the limitations that we set on ourselves. And the fact that he goes out and empowers other people to do the things that he did is really what makes him my hero. You can get more information about David Goggins at davidgoggins.com. You can also buy his book labeled Can't Hurt Me. It talks about his life story and his journey into becoming his ideal person.